NYJ Podcast with Liam and Italy Jet.
Down the afterburners. He's gone. Touchdown Jets. Brees Hall inside the 10. He's going to score.
First interception by Gardner.
We're back. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Everything NYJ. I am your host, Italy Jet. Liam Johnson will be on in a couple minutes, but we have a very, very special guest. But until I bring him on, me and Liam had a great vacation. He went to Buffalo with his girlfriend, a great time in Buffalo. I went to Panama City Beach, and it was lovely. But by Thursday, I was ready to come home because I just missed my bed. When you get older, that's the things that just happen in life. But I got a very special guest on today, Brandyn Pokrass. He is one of my good friends now. I know I'm a friend of his father's. He's a great guy as well. He does a lot with Jets Insider, A2D Radio, and Let's Talk Knicks. So if you're a Knicks fan, if you're a Jets fan, you need to check this guy out. My man, Brandyn Pokrass.
What's up? How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
You know, it's beginning of summer, post Memorial Day weekend. Actually worked majority of it, you know, up on the Ocean City Boardwalk. But you know, I'm excited. Lots of fun Jet stuff. You know, sometimes you got some people just saying crazy stuff, aka calling Daniel Jones a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. But you know, I'm excited. It's very fun right now.
Ain't that something though? I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe what I heard. I mean, Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. He's going to be up and coming. He's got a good system with Brian Dable, but like, it's Aaron Rodgers. Like, what are we talking about?
It's not even just that. That's the epitome of, damn, we need training camp to get here fast. It is literally the epitome of that. Let's just write a crazy topic article that just gets the attention. And
it's true.
Like, if you really looked at it, okay, maybe in a vacuum in one season, Daniel Jones is better than Rodgers. And I am a fan of everything they're doing with the Giants. But you cannot say with a serious face, in most cases, that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. That's just that I completely disagree with that.
I completely disagree with it too. I don't know what, and you know, you got to remind me who wrote that again. Who said all that again? I forgot.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember.
He doesn't remember.
I was just so floored by
everything you said.
Yeah,
right.
I just it like, oh my goodness, I was shocked. I was just shocked someone actually wrote a article regarding that. But hey, it's the off season, right?
Oh, yeah. There's always something. There's always something. But I got to give props real quick to the New York Jets photography. Sarah Snyder. In the background, we have a very nice picture. She got second place of all-time photos this year for the 22 season. Here, I'll play overhead real quick. That is so nice. I'm scared. I would be scared. I'm just saying. It's very nice. I really love her work too. She does great stuff. She's been with the Jets for a few years, and I wanted that on my background because I shout her out. She said, thank you. It's good stuff, man. I love her work. So thank you for what you do. Good stuff. All right. I guess we'll get to the barn burner today. Whitehead saving $5 million. What do you think?
So it's very interesting, right? Because like surface level, it's okay, are they doing this for the Rodgers contract? Or are they doing this for the Quinn Williams extension? But, you know, you look at some of the numbers, Jets already have a decent amount of cap room. You know, they're ranked number 6 in the league, according to Spot Track. You know, maybe some other places might have that differently. But It's not like the Jets are struggling for cap room. They have other ways, most likely, to free up some other money. The number one option, at least still on the roster, would be Corey Davis, who, while he seems like he's still on the roster, you can probably restructure that number, free up a little bit more money this year. I guess personally for me, I don't see a big move that they can make with that money, if they were to make a big addition, and we'll probably get to the DeAndre Hopkins talk later, but
yeah,
I'd rather look at linebacker. I'd rather look at safety to make those upgrades because,
okay,
I just feel like, would I love to improve the pass catchers? Yes, but I feel like if you're going to make an addition to the point where you're making your defense that much stronger, because Aaron Rodgers is going to elevate the majority of your offense anyway, at least in theory.
In theory, yeah. Something tells me they're going to have like 5 linebackers, in my personal opinion, because I think they're going to go heavy on running back and tight end. I know we talked about safeties before. Man, I really like that Trey Dean kid. Like, what do you think about the safety position? What do you think about the safety position?
So, they obviously have Whitehead. They brought in Chuck Clark. Love that addition, by the way. I think he's going to be great for the Jets. And, you have Tony Adams, who the organization has obviously shown that they like the kid a lot because they kept him over, I think it was Jason Pinnock last year. And Pinnock has turned into a decent player for the Giants.
True.
You have Adams, you have Dean. I think if you just have that group, and it's the balance, because you want to see what they have, but this is a Jets team that's in a different spot than where they've been the past few years. This isn't, we can just play all the young guys. It's no, they're competing. They want to compete for the AFC East, compete to win the AFC. And it's not, I just feel like an addition would be nice. And maybe if Dean shows out in the preseason and is like, oh, this guy has range, this guy's playing great, then yeah, you do keep him. But roster construction is so funny, because if you're keeping 4 tight ends, if you're keeping 4 safeties, if you're keeping 5 linebackers, where are you making those cuts? Where are you making the moves off the roster? Where are you okay not having as much depth versus having depth at certain spots? It's very interesting. And to your point, with the linebackers, who are you in your mind keeping if they have 5? So it would basically be Mosley, Barnes, Quincy, and then 2 others. If you're maybe Quan, if you're bringing him back.
I can't see us bringing Quan back. I just can't see it. I think he wants money, and I just think he wants more of a consistent role, because we all know how the defense can be with switching people in and out all the time. I know a lot of players weren't a big fan of that, but at the same time, they did get their playing time, and when they did get in there, some of them made the best of it, and some of them didn't, because let's be honest, man, Mosley, like, we need something for him. Like, he is a great player, great leader, but man, he missed just a lot of tackles last year. His endurance was just not there either. And he marked well, but we need to pick up some slack in that area. Even Quincy at times. Quincy was not even all there at times as well. But if you're going to get someone, Barnes, I would like that. I know Surfert, I forgot his name, but I know he's coming into play. Barnes is coming into play. I know there's a couple other guys that are coming into play, but and Sherwood. I think this is the year Sherwood steps up and be's that starter. Nazardine, I guarantee you he's gone. In my opinion, what do you think?
I think definitely Sherwood, Barnes. Obviously you have Quincy there, and when it comes to Mosley, I think is still a great player, but you see that a lot of times with defenses in general across the NFL. You can have great players, but if the level of the guys next to your star, in this case your star linebacker, isn't as high or is inconsistent, and you're making that guy have to maybe play outside his responsibility and pick up someone else's responsibility, that's where you start to see like a missed tackle, because maybe that wasn't his responsibility, but because, let's say, Quincy Williams was a little bit over aggressive and now leaves a hole in the defense, Mosley now has to plug that and his own responsibility. So I think when it comes down to it, you just need to have the Jets linebackers do their job in a sense. Like, you don't need your entire linebacker core to be all pros, because that's not going to be the case. That's not how, honestly, the reality of the NFL works. But if you have guys that aren't below average, if you have guys average to maybe slightly above average next to Mosley. And I think Quincy, another year in the scheme, is going to show that. I think Sherwood has potential to do that. He hasn't had that playing time that I think he would be able to get in terms to show what he can do. But this might be the year for that. And quite frankly, out of the two position groups I brought up, I think the one you're most likely to make an addition to is safety. There's not really any linebackers outside of Kwan that I would even think about bringing in to this team. I feel more comfortable, which is crazy because it's not like the Jets linebacker group for the most part is proven. I feel more comfortable with what they have than what's on the market, because how much of an upgrade is that truly versus safety? I mean, the one guy I hope would shake free is Kevin Byard. And if you have the money to make that work, that's the guy I'm adding to Whitehead, Adams, and Clark. In that case, you have your free rangy safety with Byard next to Whitehead, Clark, and Adams. And all of a sudden, your defense and secondary is that much better. If I'm making an addition, I'm targeting a guy like Byard if he shakes free, in terms of maybe the Titans don't get the contract done with him and he starts sitting out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you add that true rangy safety and you let Whitehead be the guy he was in Tampa, where he was more downhill, still has the ability to play over the top, but is kind of like that other linebacker where he's able to be in the box a little bit. That Jets defense, I feel like, is that much better, which is a scary thought.
Byard, huh? Okay. That's really interesting because, like, we got to pay, Quinnen. We got Quinnen contract. I know that might be – I heard it's going to come up in, like, the next couple of days maybe. Like, that's crazy. Do you think that's going to happen?
You see, it's funny because you have – and this is how it goes with the majority of contract negotiations in the NFL, especially now. Everyone's like, oh, Quinnen Williams unfollowed the Jets. Oh, Quinnen Williams did this, did that. They're far apart. And this is something I personally have had to learn over the past years of seeing this.
Right.
We were in May. We were in mid-May at this point. There is no reason to worry about that unless the guy is, for example, coming out and just blasting a team in interviews and blasting the team in different aspects like that. That's a different scenario. But just leaking stuff and stories, no need to worry. Now, if this was happening late July, August, training camp, then I'd be like, okay, this needs to be figured out, or there might be a problem. You can't have this carry into the season. But you still, at that point, had half of May, all of June, all of July. The Jets know how valuable Quinnen Williams is, and Quinnen Williams knows how valuable he is to the Jets. Look no further than the games last year when he didn't play. The Jets' defensive line, as much as they rely on the rotations, which I love that aspect when it's working correctly, it did not function without Quinnen. So I have full confidence this deal is going to get done soon, because if they're not far apart, which they shouldn't be, you saw Deron Payne, Dexter Williams, and I think
Lawrence too.
Or it was Dexter Lawrence and Deron Payne and those different guys. It set the market. You have the baseline, maybe a little more than those guys, so you're closer to the Aaron Donald contract, but not exceeding it. You have your baseline. There's really isn't anything to worry about. It's just, maybe one side's asking for more, the other side's asking for less. Eventually that bridge is gapped and you're all good. So I'm not worried about that. And to your point, bring it back full circle, I definitely think it's going to be done relatively soon.
Yeah, I heard they're close, and then the Rodgers thing, I'm thinking 2 to 3 years, at least an option of a third year, 2 years. And I think it's going to be relatively nothing big. I think it's going to be decent. I don't think it's going to be crazy money. Do you think the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Rodgers is going to want to hamstring the team that traded for him in order to go win, try to win Super Bowls. But he obviously wants his money, so I think you're going to find that middle ground. also, the Jets, in terms of the capital they gave up, that they were operating like in the sense and as a team that knows they're going to have a quarterback for more than 1 year. You don't give up that type of capital if you don't have him for more than 1 year. At least that's how I saw it. That's how I saw it, in the sense of you're not trading a first-round pick and swapping picks unless you know that guy's going to be there. And I'm saying a first-round pick, yes, technically it's a conditional pick, but Rodgers, in my eyes, is definitely playing 65% of snaps. If he doesn't, something went terribly wrong. Terribly wrong.
Well, let's hope he doesn't get injured. I know people were, tripping just a little bit with that. Was it? It was lower.
Calf.
It was ankle, right? Calf. There you go. Yeah, it's like things are gonna happen. People, there's always gonna be something popping up. But
it all circles back to everyone overreacts way too much over OTAs.
Right.
There's a calf injury in late May. It's a different story if we're talking about it in a late August.
Yeah. That's true, because now we have a third quarterback that they put into play now, right? They have a third quarterback that's coming in. What do you think about the third quarterback?
Oh, in terms of the new rule, right?
Yeah.
Well, if the Jets get to that point, they're in trouble anyway, because I don't know if I want Zach Wilson, let alone Tim Boyle, getting any time in games. I've been pounding the table since the offseason for them to sign a backup. It's probably not going to happen, but
what's up, Liam?
It's just I don't get it. I just don't understand the confidence level going into a season where Zach Wilson is your backup. You're one injury away from Zach Wilson playing high leverage snaps, and I don't like that whatsoever.
That's true. Liam, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Do you guys watch UFC?
Yes.
I don't.
To quote Conor McGregor, sorry I'm late, I just don't give a fuck.
Hey, first episode of Ultimate Fighter. That was great. Great stuff.
Yes, it was. No, I was running a little late, and then I haven't been using my tablet, so it was acting up.
That's all good. And I know there's isn't there bad weather in New York right now? Am I wrong about that?
You're completely wrong. It's 75 and sunny.
Okay, never mind.
I'm thinking of North area.
I'm thinking about the Carolinas right now. Never mind.
Oh yeah, maybe.
But so Liam, we're back. We haven't been together in a while. How was Buffalo?
It's interesting.
It's interesting. You want to elaborate more on that?
Not on the air.
But also,
it was a good time. It was good to get away,
Okay.
How was
Oh, for sure.
Where were you? Palm Beach City?
I was at Panama City Beach.
Oh, Panama City. Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great to get away, but then the stuff I can't say on air either. But Thursday, I was ready to get back to my bed on Thursday. 100%.
I hear that.
And Brandon, congratulations on graduating, right? You just
graduated. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations. You wrote an art. Are you officially full time with Jets Insider now?
Yes. So I'm with them.
Nice.
That is what I'm doing. It's weird being a college graduate, because it's you're still in the mindset of you're in school, and that's well, not really, because I'm doing my grad year as well, but so it's I still have more school, but it's not the same type of school, but I'm also not. It's like that weird middle ground.
Yeah, it is.
Are you going away for that, or?
No, same school.
Okay, cool. Nice. Well, yeah, it's big, man. Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So what did I interrupt? What were we talking about here?
Huh? No, we're talking about the new rule with the third quarterback. We've talked about Quinnen, we talked about Whitehead, we talked about linebackers, safeties, now wide receiver talk or running back talk about Rodgers, but we're just trying to figure out the backup thing because Boyle and Wilson seems like it's going to be that. So the floor is yours, Liam.
Well, before we get into all that, just to talk about Aaron Rodgers real quick. Italy, are you a Swiftie?
No, I will never be a Swiftie now and
Brandyn,
forever.
you?
I've not been. No, there's a few songs I'll listen to, but like overall, not really.
No.
You're not Aaron Rodgers at MetLife, that's not you.
Enjoy. Yeah, like he just won the Super Bowl with all the confetti coming down.
That's great. But yeah, from what I'm seeing, Zach Wilson didn't really have a good day today. And I've been seeing a lot of the highlights of Trask and Baker Mayfield just overthrowing everybody, and that's kind of like what I fear with Zach Wilson. It's interesting because like he has those flashes, and the arm talent's never been an issue with him. But I want to see Aaron Rodgers working with Zach, teaching him how to read defenses and stuff because he can't get out of his own head. That's his problem. Like if he could get like his anxiety under control, just be like the swag that we know he has. I think that would make all the difference, really.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine. I really do. With Aaron Rodgers underneath them, and he's got a good offensive coordinator now. I don't think he's going to be like a backup right now, maybe like a third string right now, but have him develop him a little bit more because he's got the talent. He can run. He makes crisp passes, but it's all in his head, like you said, Liam. So I agree. I think he's going to be a good quarterback eventually. I really do. Now that I've seen more and more of him and him with the connection with Rodgers again, like I want it to happen, but we've been screwed before. Brandon, what do you think?
So you kind of nailed what I was going to say. I think it's not a matter of like, I don't want him to like, be on the roster. It's just like, I feel like it's good for him to get the development year, but you don't want to throw him into the fire if something happens to Rodgers. You want him to be that third string. You want him to be quote unquote 2 plays away where he actually has the comfort level to learn, to really reset, to basically start from like that ground floor and work his way up to a point where, he might be a serviceable quarterback where he might be able to find his footing in the league once again later down the road. It's going to be weird in terms of his quote unquote Jets future because honestly, I don't think he has much of one in the sense of, if Rodgers is here for 2 years, right? The first year you're having Wilson back, well, it would be his 5th-year option year, and you're most likely not picking up his 5th-year option. So I think if Wilson figures it out, it's going to be somewhere else. Not in the sense of, he's just terrible. It might be, Aaron Rodgers is the Jets quarterback, and they're not handing the reins over to Zach Wilson, especially after the first 2 years. Now, anything can happen. Injuries, Wilson steps in and leads the Jets, which as far-fetched as it seems, I've seen crazier things happen in sports.
Nick Foles.
But at the end of the day, I think what it comes down to is he needs the time to sit back and truly, if the Jets want to try to salvage him, truly get the time he needs to develop. Having him as the backup, so Aaron Rodgers gets knocked out of the game, and you're tossing Zach Wilson, let's say, for example, in a Week 6 Philadelphia Eagles matchup where he has absolutely no shot, that's what I don't want. Because you're not just hurting the team, you're hurting the entire idea of why he's still on the roster. Because the first issue or the first mistake he makes, bang, you're back to start one. Because that's when he starts getting in his own head.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
you really did. It's I agree. I wanted this to be like a redshirt year for him. It's just like you said, like the timing. It's bad timing, and there's no way that you can pick up his 5th-year option. Why Tim Boyle's on this team, I don't even know. I think it's just because he knows Nathaniel Hackett's system. But I would want a veteran backup. I'm bringing in a Carson Wentz or a Teddy Bridgewater, somebody like that. Is there a specific veteran quarterback that you want?
Bridgewater would be the perfect guy, because Bridgewater is the guy. You play him 2-3 games, he gets you maybe 2 wins, and Rodgers is back in. Like, obviously, any backup currently that you sign is not going to be a guy that can win you 7-8 games. But if you need a backup to win you 7-8 games this season, something went horribly wrong. It's simple as that.
Yep.
You just need a guy that can come in there, hold down the fort, not turn the offense into the New England Patriots version that the Jets had in some of their games, and you're fine.
You mean like all last 14?
Yeah. I'm talking more of, the Jets putting up like 30 total yards of offense, or like 10 total yards of offense against the Patriots, like that type of offense, because you don't want it to reach that point this season. You need a steady hit. You need a steady hand at all times.
It's true. That's true.
Now, do you think, like, I'm sorry, Gino, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Gotcha.
I was gonna say, if God forbid that does happen, do you think that really puts Salah on the hot seat then?
I think puts everyone on the hot seat. Everybody. Here's the thing. You built the roster this way. You build it up, and all of a sudden, if your season comes down to Zach Wilson having to win you football games, in my opinion, that's a failure, because that is something that was easily avoidable. Not in the sense of getting rid of Zach Wilson, but not making Zach Wilson your backup. Let's be real. How expensive is Teddy Bridgewater going to be? How expensive would a Carson Wentz be? Not expensive.
With all their injury history, not at all.
So it's like, it is a situation that can be avoided entirely. And if it isn't avoided and it ends up coming to pass, well, that's on the GM and that's on the coaching staff.
I agree. Tim Boyle, the only reason why he's there is because he knows the Packers system, and Hackett recruited him in college. That's the only reason why he's here. And he knows Rodgers really well. They're all friends, so that's the only reason why I think he's here. Let's talk about your favorite player, Denzel Mims. What do you think about that situation with Denzel Mims and Corey Davis in the wide receiver room right now?
As far as like where they stand in the wide receiver room?
Do you think something big's going to happen?
Not according to Salah.
I would ship Mims in a heartbeat and reconstruct Corey Davis and keep him here, because Mims doesn't want to be. It doesn't look like Mims wants to be there. Brandon, what do you think?
So this ties into the DeAndre Hopkins discussion, obviously. And
obviously, yeah.
This, for me, it's a matter of, it's not a need. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that a lot. For me, he'd be a huge addition. It would make the Jets much better. But if you don't get him, it's not the end of the world. So I was fully on board with adding to the receiver room this year, mainly because I didn't think Corey Davis would be back. Corey Davis being back, all right, whatever. You have your veteran presence. He's not anywhere above your number 4 wide receiver at the moment. Cool. That's fine. The thing that made no sense today with the Salah quote, and I get it, the Jets probably are confident in their receiver room. Completely good with that. Why'd you go after Odell Beckham then? Right?
True. Yeah.
Why'd you go after Odell if you don't want to go after Hopkins? So is that coach speak? Is that a lie? Who knows? All I know is you add DeAndre Hopkins to this offense. It's another great target. You're taking more attention off Garrett Wilson. You're allowing Allen Lazard to most likely get single teams the majority of the time, because you have Hopkins, you have Garrett Wilson. You're able to move Lazard as a big slot. Excuse me. And then Lazard gets mismatches. That's when he was at his best in Green Bay, when that attention wasn't on him. And the attention still really isn't going to be on him. But you add Hopkins, it's that much better, and you're opening up room for everyone else. It's another target for Rodgers, I guess. But from the Jets' perspective, I guess if you already have Wilson, Lazard, Hardman, Davis, you already have Conklin, Uzama, and Rucker, who's been showing out so far apparently in OTAs. If you have Breece Hall, who's a huge factor in the receiving game, you drafted Zach Kuntz, who could be a nice red zone target.
Cunts.
It's like
Stop.
it's like, do you even need to add him, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I like that from the Jets' perspective. I'm always a fan of adding targets. I'm always a fan of adding weapons. But when you really look at it, and this, like what I said before, it's not a necessity. It's something that would improve the team's offense production and help them a lot in that regard. But it's not a necessity. I feel like adding a safety would be more of a necessity. If a great linebacker shook free, adding that would be more of a necessity. That's just where I land with it. But on the flip side, Davante Adams ever comes available, I'm doing everything in my power to get him.
And Hawkins doesn't even want to be here, so that's another thing. But Davante, I would trade a lot of people for that one.
Because
plus just all the chemistry that he has in like Hackett's offense with Aaron Rodgers, it's a no-brainer.
I mean, Adams, Lazard, Wilson.
That's
oh my
that's
God, it's like the
that's
Packers. And then Cobb's right there with Hardman. And someone gets hurt, put Davis in there. Why not? Why not?
You know what's funny too is I'm sorry.
No, but like that Adams is the guy. It's such a difference because I honestly think Adams has a lot more left in the tank than Hopkins. Hopkins has basically he's basically requested out of two different places. Adams really hasn't done that. And you add him to Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard if this ever happened, your defenses can't cover everybody. It's impossible. You're leaving someone on an island. You're leaving someone that's going to be free, whether you're in zone or man, because you still have the tight ends as well. So adding Adams to that offense would make them so much better and would make just the offense borderline unstoppable. But that's the type of guy I'm looking at versus Hopkins. Also, how much are you paying him? Jets will be able to fit it in the cap, but how much are you paying him versus production? How long's the deal? If it's a 1-year deal, is it even worth screwing up other aspects of your roster just to get that guy there? It's all the questions and answers that go into that. But like I said, I don't think Hopkins is necessarily this. You have to do everything in your power to get him. Because I don't think the Jets are thinking that way. I personally would go after him. But it's not something where if a different team in the NFL gets him, I'm going to be like, damn, the Jets should have done everything in their power to get him.
Right. Well, see, the thing with that, too, is I think we all feel very confident with our wide receiver room. But it might not be as good as we think it is. Like, yes, we have Garrett Wilson coming off of a big season. Most likely he's only going to get better. Allen Lazard, very good wide receiver, but he also, he's no number one. He does have a history of drops. Corey Davis, history of drops. Mecole Hardman, kind of an unknown. So it's not necessarily a necessity to go after Davante Adams or Hopkins, but it might be more of a necessity than we're giving it credit for. Not saying that like the wide receivers can't be productive now, but I feel comfortable. But like I think another piece, especially of that caliber, is more of a necessity than we might be giving it credit for.
Go ahead, Brandyn.
Absolutely, because got to take injuries into account. Someone gets hurt, what's that?
One Garrett Wilson injury away. Yeah.
What's that wide receiver room? So I'm 100% in agreement with that, and I would, like I said, I would definitely go after Hopkins, but I do understand why the Jets are probably comfortable in a sense. Even after going after Odell Beckham. I think I used two afters there, but it's all good. Like on top of the receivers, you do have the tight ends and you do have Breece Hall. You have a wide array of weapons. But if you're just looking at receivers, yes, I do think you can make another addition there.
Right.
I disagree. I think Lazard's going to be fine. I think Hardman is going to – I don't think we talk about Hardman enough. Like, when he's healthy, and he won a ring with the Chiefs. Like, when he's healthy, he gets open quite a bit. He's very good in the red zone. When he's got one of the fastest get off. He's up there with Hill with speed if on a good day. Like, he's not faster than Hill, but he can reach that type of speed when healthy. Now, I see Davis as a third. I see Lazard as a second, Wilson as a first. And I think they're trying to get Odell because they were trying to maybe get rid of Davis and Mims so Odell can fit in that third spot. Hopkins doesn't want to be here, so who cares about him? Now, when we're looking at Odell wanted that big money. I mean, Ravens, that was a desperate move. So much desperate
absolute desperation.
So it's one of those things now where I look at even our wide receiver room. We even got young guys that are coming up. And plus, this is not over with. We're not over with this yet. There's going to be people coming in. There's going to be waivers, signings. This is way far from over. And I know we have undrafted guys coming in too. So I'm excited to see what it looks like. But right now, that's the way I look at as far as Hardman and Cobb are going to be those slot guys. Whatever happens with Davis and whatever happens with Mims. But Lazard's your number 2 just because we paid him like a number 2. And then Wilson is clearly the number 1.
Now, obviously, we're not rooting for any injuries or, God forbid this happens. But, like, let's say Italy, Garrett Wilson goes down. You're not a little concerned?
I mean, I'm concerned, but my mentality, Liam. Next man up. Well, look what happened with Breece Hall. I mean, Carter Knight was a very nice surprise. Johnson did pretty good. That running back room is all sorts of messed up right now because I can see the Jets cutting Carter. That's going to be a surprise one. Everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, they did it. Because Izzy's going to be a clear, I think he's going to be running back 2 eventually. I really do think so. Knight's going to be there. I think his job is safe, but Carter's on the bubble, man. So we'll see what happens. See what happens.
Brandyn?
What do you guys think?
I mean, to that point, I've been team Knight over Carter for a little bit. And it's not even about any off the field stuff. It's purely, I like Donovan Knight's running style better than Michael Carter. Like that's what it comes down to. I like how he gets downhill. I like that he still brings receiving ability. And quite frankly, the north to south style fits a lot better in this offense than kind of the shifty, elusive guy. You're getting downhill. You're causing the defense to make a choice. You're not sitting back and waiting. And as a result, that opens up the passing game. Or you use the passing game to open up the downhill running, as we have seen lots of times in the modern NFL. And to the point about the wide receivers, quite frankly, if Garrett Wilson goes down, Jets are in trouble regardless. Even if they had another guy. Garrett Wilson is just that important to the offense. Quite frankly, you want to make a comparison. It'd be if Justin Jefferson went down for the Vikings. It'd be if Cooper Kupp went down for the Rams. We saw it happen. Look what happened.
Dominoes.
You look at the number 1 guy across the league on these different teams. When they're out, the offense, unless you have like Patrick Mahomes, arguably Aaron Rodgers for the majority of his career, Tom Brady, these type of guys that can overcome that, losing that number 1 target is a devastating occurrence for any team. So I think that you would have to have Conklin, Lazard, Uzama, all these guys step up to fill that void. It wouldn't just be one guy, but whatever you add to the wide receiver room, and I agree, it's only May 31st. There's going to be roster turnover. There's going to be surprise cuts. There's going to be guys that shake free, and the Jets are like, hey, maybe we add this guy to the room. he fits what we want to do. Maybe someone takes
Right.
that Denzel Mims spot. But at the end of the day, a Garrett Wilson absence, injury, time frame where he's not playing, it would and is going to hurt the same amount no matter who you have in that wide receiver room.
Yeah, I agree because I'm not saying I'm disagreeing with the whole Wilson thing. Like that's not going to hurt or not. It's going to hurt, but we've seen this before. You can get Kuntz in there with his tall body. You could probably ship him over to the wide receiver room. Maybe. I mean, you can even put Carter in that slot and maybe put Hardman up there. There's a lot of things that you could do, but I do agree when your number one wide receiver goes out, that sucks. But with this team, we have proven that we can bounce back. Like we have proven that. We're not the same old Jets with, oh my God, we're freaking out. Like this is the worst thing that's ever going to happen. If anything happens that we should freak out about with an injury, it's either going to be Sauce Gardner, it's going to be Quinnen Williams, or Aaron Rodgers. We have enough depth at the wide receiver position, in my personal opinion, and running back and tight end position that we're going to be okay until something else happens because we're the Jets. So that's just the way I think about it.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, that's a fair point. We could always throw a running back in, the slot or something like that too.
Yeah.
So there's definitely ways around it. It's not the end of the world if somebody like Garrett Wilson goes down. Oh, come on. No.
No.
We're spitballing. We're just rambling, Sean. We were talking about Mims and Corey Davis, and then all of a sudden we just happened to mention this.
So if we do manifest a trade for a Devontae Adams, what do you guys want to give up for him?
I mean, it depends because obviously you have that contract. In all likelihood, that trade probably won't even happen until like next year. I don't think the Raiders get rid of Adams this year. If they do, I'm not sure how that works with the with the Jets cap situation. But I'm probably giving up a 2. I don't think it takes more than like a 2 or a 2 and a 5, something along those lines. Maybe you're adding a Denzel Mims type just to give the Raiders a receipt. Like, I don't think you're going to have to trade the 2 first-round picks like Vegas did because at this point, Devontae will be near 30. He won't be that young, quote-unquote, receiver. Still very productive, still very good. Yeah. But if you executed a trade for Adams next year, which I feel like is more likely than this year.
He's going to request it. He's going to request a trade in Vegas. There's no doubt.
If it's likely at all, I don't think you're having to trade the farm whatsoever to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Packers only trade a second-round pick. Why not? That's just me, though.
And he might want out, though. I mean, like, they don't even really have a quarterback right now. He might want out.
I can't believe the Garoppolo crap. I just can't believe that. And then Brady wants a little share. What if he comes back out of retirement?
Oh,
that's always a funny thing to look at because what if Garoppolo was the Jets quarterback and this was happening?
Please, no.
Do you remember what I was saying like back in January and February?
What were you saying
before,
back
like
in January, February?
That we need the veteran quarterback, and I'm like, why not just get Garoppolo? Because LaFleur was here, and I'm like, all he does is win.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that we got Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. All I know is Jets Twitter would have been up in flames if the Garoppolo injury, the guy the Jets signed to be their starter, could get voided, and then you'd be left with Zach Wilson start. Just I could see the tweets, the reactions. And the funny thing is, it wouldn't even be overreactions at that point. At that point, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, that's like when we're angry and right. That's a very scary place for Jets Twitter. Oh man, Italy.
I agree. Anything else you got for our guests before we head out?
I'm sorry I couldn't have been here for the whole thing. We'll definitely have you back on and make it up. But. Hope you enjoyed yourself in our little crazy land.
We
always
are
welcome.
always crazy. Always crazy. Brandon, where can we find you real quick, my man?
So, I got the show on A2D. You can just find that looking up A2D Radio on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. find that anywhere. Let's Talk Knicks just started up that podcast. You can find that wherever podcasts can be found. Then Jets Insider stuff. You can find all the articles I'm writing when I tweet them out on my Twitter. That's at bpoc24. You can also find that all on jetsinsider.com. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It's a blast. Second time was awesome as well, and can't wait to be back on. It's going to be a very fun offseason and very fun regular season.
Absolutely, man.
Amen.
Looking forward to it.
Amen. Guys, you can find Liam here on Instagram. If you want to follow him. He's always entertaining, this guy. Always entertaining. And you can follow me, Italy Jet, right here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And you can follow everything here, everything NYJ, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Please share, comment, like, and subscribe to Everything NYJ. Appreciate everyone. Giga Man Porto just always gives me so much crap. And you know what? He's been firing me like crazy. So we'll see what happens next week if I'm still even have a job with him. But guys, thank you for watching. You guys have a great night. Go Jets.